Welcome once again, hooligans, to Lands of Chaos! I am PK, and today I will show you a few fission field reactors, and maybe some advanced ones. Power production, and I guess next video will be fusion, and video after that will be guns. But first, field reactors. No. That button. Anyway. Learn a lot of little nifty things about power production and Voltz, going into it with absolutely no knowledge of how to build anything. But here's a couple of little popless reactors. This is a little nifty one. Water stays in it for eternity. It has puts off enough steam to put power 4 large turbines, plus 4 little ones. This is the heat pattern it puts off. This one fission core in this arrangement. Load her up, let you see that it works. You go out and get a handful of these. And yeah, we're talking about the fizzle reactors, the ones that take these. Or fission, say fizzle, because they like to explode. Anyway, there you go. Symbol load and operate, can access it from anywhere. We have a lovely turbine noise. I mean, you should be making mad juice to power this gun array. I ran over here some ultimate power cubes, like using them for testing. And you see, not bad power production. Nifty, gets you by on the faction server power source. Take the power back. Here's a little bit more of a semi-advanced one. This is also quote-unquote popless, as in you can't explode it unless you do something horribly wrong. There's a little smaller heat grid, plumbed over to 3 turbines. Right now, I just have 6 power cubes on it. Ultimate power cubes. I like the ultimate ones. This is a little nifty. You can turn the water on and off. And like I said, with the rods in there, control rods, if that overheats, which I will show you. No. Yeah, as you can see, no matter what, it can't blow up, even with no water. Tip. Let me break it. Time to break it. No, never mind, we fix this. 1800. By the way, it's a good threshold for your alarm to go off 1800, because you probably have about 30 seconds to do something about it. Anyway, that's that one. Shut it right down with these. I was going to run for about an hour. And I feel like I got a little bit more advanced. These are actually test reactors and power plants I'll show you next. This is my first power plant. It's so cute and evil. This is the first one to incorporate an auto start water system. go ahead and load this beast. And how this works is temperature rises in here. Once you set off that lower temperature cube at 1000, it will turn on the water jacket, which, this is a really quick start to turbines type of thing. The more heat you have when you drop the water on it, the quicker your turbines start. This unit has 4 main larges. In between them, 2 little tiny turbines, direct drive right off the steam hoods. It's for a compact thing. Not the most efficient thing ever, but it gets the job done. The cube is wired to a couple of these. Hold on. A couple flash emitters, or flash eruptors, no matter how you want to call it. But basically, once it reaches temperature, that one down there will trip, set off the water. And when temperature lowers where there's no more power on the circuit, this one will trip and turn off the water. Should be around 1000, I hope. Yep. And we have power. This thing banks a little juice. Can be considered a fuel reactor, although it's a little bit more advanced. Oh yeah, my fake shielding, which does nothing. The aluminum, it does nothing. Anyway, I'm going to show you how it shuts down. You just pull, either fuel runs out or you pull the rod. And once it gets down under 1000, it shuts off water flow. So for when that happens. Polarity got reversed. Whoops. That's disturbing. Must be a slight timing issue, but you kind of get the gist. Pretty much runs its own, on its own, until steam runs out. Go over here is the magic cow that cannot be radioactively infected. Don't ask me how, it just said, it just doesn't. Anyways, comes to a 5 cube array. Taking charge. And now I'll show you my semi-legitimate power plant. Fission power plant, The exploder. Let's go over here. You want to prepare yourself for epic. Epic! This is a pretty much automated, except for there is no dead man. If you don't run this thing properly or turn the water off while loaded, yeah, it will explode. But twin core reactor grid. A nice little control set here, and you either turn the water on and off manually or by temperature. As an emergency shutdown, which brings which brings these rods inward and shuts down the reactor. Or if your reactor ends up running this a little bit too hot and actually trip this up here, the little bit of over rev alarm, I can quick cool it by hitting this, which is a stall circuit I installed. And what that does is bring one rod inward, this back one back here, to slowly bring the temperature of the reactor down, and then, you know, when reactor temp's proper, you turn it back off. Simple, easy, effective. This is the wiring for it, which is kind of complicado. These are for the temperature shutdown circuits. This is simply, all this is just turns the water on and off. And it's mirrored on either side. And pretty much the same rig as the one I showed you a minute ago, the red one. When it reaches temperature, sets off this one, turns on the water. When it goes down below temperature, sets off this one, turns off the water. Pretty much automated. And back here, both of them are linked to this stupid large dynamic tank. Not quite stupid large, only 252, not too big of a tank. And we have here, the tank runs to 20, except for the, you know, random glitch that happens. Anyway, 20 large turbines, which feed 50 ultimate power cubes. Go ahead and fire this one up. And just this. Gonna run. Not running very well. Another. And once again, once these reach 1,000 degrees, they'll fire up. What I'm doing now is show you my dorky little, not shielded at all, radiation fuel hut. With a fission fuel ready to go. The fun part, waiting for it to get to 1,000 degrees. Also, yeah, with this type of auto injection water system, you want to set it up to where you put the fuel in before you turn the water on. If you turn the water on, then add fuel, it'll turn the water off and explode. You know, the way real reactors work. Anyway. We should have water in a minute. That's at almost 900. This one should be over 900 since this is the one I started with. Yep. We have ignition on reactor 1. Ignition on reactor 2. Shut that. And we have lag. Turbines will spool pretty quickly, you know, with dual large reactors. And we're making steam at pretty much an alarming rate for a rig like this. And we are making energy. And by the way, the 2 fission rods will actually completely fill the batteries, and you still have some steam left over in the tank for some overrun if you want. And its actual overrun time is around, I don't know, close to maybe an hour in real time. Like when it runs out of fuel, it'll probably, you know, run for close to an hour afterwards, real time. Several days in Minecraft. And well, that's fission so far. I think I'm around 10 minutes. Let's see, I guess time for the end of the video treat. I've been very touchy with these. Just made a backup with them. Building them's touchy. Testing them's touchy. You don't have to worry about them blowing up the whole time. I was wondering what a complete system failure looks like. So let's induce one of those. Oh, we seem to have a problem. This is Atari, go boom. Oh shit. Yeah. I'll give him about 30 seconds. Reactor 1 failure. Reactor 2 failure. I figured it'd be more impressive. But don't worry, guys. I can still put... Oh, nope. Actually, I can't. My emergency water system's a fail. Oh, there was no emergency. Like I said, you can do that. Well then. Not quite that impressive. But yeah, that's reactor failure. Oops. Maybe I should have turned that on.